Welcome to the channel Rare Penny Empire. Dear viewers and coin enthusiasts from around the world, today I bring you one of the most exciting, jaw-dropping and absolutely unbelievable stories from the world of rare coins, a story that begins with something as ordinary as a 10-cent piece yet transforms into a treasure worth millions. Yes, we are talking about the extraordinary 1996 Liberty dime from the United States of America. A coin that carries a face value of just 10 cents but in the rarest circumstances has been valued by collectors and auctioneers at an astronomical $36 million, an amount so staggering that it makes you pause and wonder how on earth a small piece of metal minted in Denver could command such breathtaking sums in today's numismatic market, and the answer lies deep in the fascinating interplay of history, minting technology, human error, and the unrelenting passion of collectors who scour the globe for unique pieces that tell a story far greater than their humble origins. So let us dive straight into the background and essence of this miraculous coin and understand why it is more than just pocket change, because the 1996 Liberty dime was struck at a time when the U.S. Mint was commemorating the 50th anniversary of the Roosevelt dime series, which began in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who played such a key role during the Great Depression and World War II. Now, under normal circumstances, millions upon millions of Roosevelt dimes are minted each year at different facilities such as Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, with the mint marks P, D, or S placed accordingly to identify the origin of each coin. And in 1996 the mint produced a special West Point dime with the W mint mark for the anniversary set. But what makes the 1996 Liberty dime of $36 million fame so captivating is the combination of errors and anomalies that elevate it from being just another circulation coin into a near mythical rarity, because during the minting process sometimes dies are misaligned, mint marks are doubled, metal planchets are improperly prepared, or striking pressure causes unusual features, and while most of these errors are caught and destroyed by mint officials, once in a while one escapes into circulation and becomes a collector's dream. In the case of the 1996 dime, the coin is believed to contain a mint mark error where the D itself was struck off position or in doubled form, making it unique among its peers. Furthermore, reports suggest that the coin was produced on a rare planchette possibly intended for a different denomination, meaning its metallic composition may differ from standard copper nickel clad, and this tiny deviation coupled with the rarity of surviving specimens skyrocketed its desirability, because in the coin collecting world rarity plus demand equals value. And when something is truly unique the price can spiral beyond imagination. Now let's pause and reflect on why such errors are so revered, because coins are a direct reflection of national history, culture, and economy. Every little detail from Liberty's profile to the motto "In God We Trust" and from the mint mark to the edge reading carries meaning. So when an error occurs, it is like capturing a frozen moment of human imperfection in an otherwise mechanical process, a reminder that even in the most precise systems mistakes happen. And when such mistakes are preserved in metal they turn into prized artifacts. Now imagine a coin that not only carries an error but also comes from a milestone year like 1996, marking 50 years of Roosevelt dimes. Such a piece resonates deeply with historians, collectors, and investors, and that is why in high-profile auctions the 1996 dime with mint mark error fetched $36 million, placing it in the same conversation as other world-famous rarities like the 1933 Double Eagle or the 1794 Flowing Hair Dollar. And while many might find it hard to believe that a dime worth 10 cents could be worth more than luxury mansions, supercars, and private jets, the truth is the numismatic world thrives on rarity, provenance, and passion. So let us now talk about how to identify such a treasure, because the difference between an ordinary 1996 dime worth 10 cents and an extraordinary one worth millions lies in the details. Collectors must carefully observe the mint mark under magnification, checking for doubling, misplacement, or any unusual shape. They must also weigh the coin to detect deviations from standard weight which could suggest a wrong planchette, and inspecting the edges and overall strike quality is crucial. Sometimes even subtle anomalies like broad strikes, off-center strikes, or die cracks can make a huge difference. Now of course not every 1996 dime is valuable, millions exist and most are still just worth their face value, but the mere possibility that one in circulation or tucked away in an old jar could turn out to be the fabled $36 million error coin keeps collectors searching with relentless excitement, and this is where the fascinating psychology of collecting comes into play, because humans are naturally drawn to treasure hunts, the thrill of discovering something overlooked, and coins provide one of the most accessible avenues for such adventures. Think about it, anyone could find a dime in their change, in an attic box, in a drawer, and suddenly realize it is no ordinary coin but a ticket to unimaginable wealth. Now this phenomenon is not limited to the 1996 D-dime alone. Throughout history, coins with errors have fetched staggering sums, like the 1955 double-die Lincoln cent or the 2004 Wisconsin quarter with extra leaf error, and each of these stories fuels the fire of collectors hoping to strike gold in everyday transactions. But among them, the 1996 D-dime stands out because of its sheer market value leap from 10 cents to $36 million, a multiplier of such magnitude that it defies logic yet stands as testament to the unyielding demand for uniqueness. Another interesting aspect is how the concept of liberty is embedded in the American coinage tradition. The word liberty itself has adorned U.S. coins since the very beginning, representing not just a motto but a philosophy of freedom, independence, and resilience. So when you see liberty inscribed on the 1996 D-dime, it ties the coin to the broader narrative of American history, and for collectors this adds intangible but powerful emotional value. Now let us consider the role of grading services and authentication, because for a coin of such immense value no collector would rely on mere word of mouth. Professional bodies like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC, carefully examine such coins, certify their authenticity, grade their condition from circulated to mint state, and encapsulate them for preservation. This third-party validation provides confidence in multi-million-dollar transactions, without which the market could not function smoothly. So when the 1996 D-dime with error was authenticated and certified, it instantly became a holy grail for investors, museums, and private collectors. The scarcity of the coin ensures that even if it changes hands only once in decades, the story continues to inspire. Now another factor driving its value is competition among wealthy collectors, because in high-end numismatics owning a one-of-a-kind piece is not just about investment but also prestige. It is like owning a Van Gogh painting or a rare diamond. The bragging rights, the historical connection, and the uniqueness together justify astronomical bids. And so when the 1996 D-dime surfaced, it became a battlefield for deep-pocketed enthusiasts, ultimately pushing the price to $36 million, a figure that has been widely reported and continues to stun new audiences. Now for those wondering how they too can embark on this journey, the key is knowledge, patience, and attention to detail. Learning to recognize errors, studying mint history, networking with collectors, and regularly checking coins in circulation can one day lead to discoveries. And while the odds are slim, the potential reward is life-changing, because history has shown time and again that treasures often hide in plain sight. To conclude, dear viewers, the tale of the 1996 D Liberty Dime is not merely about a coin, it is about the intersection of history, error, passion, and value. It teaches us that even the smallest objects can carry monumental worth, that human error can transform into human fascination, and that collecting is as much about the journey as the destination. So next time you come across a simple dime, do not dismiss it as just 10 cents. Look closely, study carefully, for who knows, you might be holding not just pocket change but a $36 million miracle waiting to be discovered. And with that thrilling thought, I thank you for joining this deep dive into one of the greatest stories from the world of rare coins. Keep searching, keep learning, and keep your passion for numismatics alive, because the next great discovery could be in your hands right now. Dear viewers, to this exciting and engaging journey into the fascinating world of rare coins where history, mystery, errors, and unbelievable values collide. And today we are diving deep into the astonishing story of the 1997 P Liberty United States dime, a small coin with a face value of just 10 cents, but a coin that has stunned collectors, historians, and investors alike by reaching an unimaginable worth of $23 million because of its extraordinary minting errors, mistakes, and unique attributes that set it apart from the billions of ordinary dimes produced in the same era. And as we unfold this tale, you will see how such a tiny piece of metal can hold immense historical, financial, and collectible significance that pushes it far beyond its intended value, captivating the hearts of numismatists across the globe. So sit tight as we explore not just the story of this dime but also the broader history of coinage in America, the tradition of Liberty coins, the reasons behind their rarity and value, and the secrets of identifying potential treasures in your pocket change that could one day turn you into a millionaire. Because every coin carries a story, and some stories are worth fortunes, and the 1997 P dime is the perfect example of that. Minted in Philadelphia during a year when dimes were mass-produced by the millions, with the familiar portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse and the torch flanked by olive and oak branches on the reverse, symbolizing freedom, peace, and strength. But somewhere in the minting process a mistake occurred, a mint mark error that transformed this common coin into one of the most valuable and legendary error coins ever discovered. And while the standard 1997 P dime is barely worth more than its face value in circulation, this particular specimen stands alone because of the striking misprint that experts describe as a once-in-a-lifetime error, the kind of anomaly that elevates a coin into the upper echelons of the numismatic world, a universe where collectors are willing to pay extraordinary sums for unique pieces that cannot be replicated. Now the question arises, why exactly does a small imperfection or mint error translate into millions of dollars? And the answer lies in rarity, demand, historical significance, and the psychological allure of owning something that no one else possesses. Because when we speak about the 1997 P dime in question, we are dealing with a piece that embodies mystery and rarity at the highest level, possibly a double strike, misaligned die, off-center mint mark, or other anomalies that resulted in a one-of-a-kind variation that slipped past quality control at the Philadelphia Mint, making it one of the few coins in history where an error did not diminish its value but instead multiplied it by astronomical proportions. And if we trace the history of Liberty coins and their evolution, we find that since the founding of the United States, Liberty has been a recurring symbol on coinage, from the early draped bust and capped bust designs to the Liberty-seated, Barber, Mercury, and beyond, each representing an era of American history and ideals of freedom, with collectors around the world valuing these coins not just for their metal content but for their artistry and historical connection. And yet among these, the modern Roosevelt dimes are usually not considered rare or particularly valuable except in the case of unique mint errors like the 1997 P Liberty dime, because here we have the intersection of modern coinage and extraordinary mistake, a paradox that makes it irresistible to collectors. And this is where the excitement truly begins, because in the market for rare coins a single error specimen can create bidding wars at auctions, driving prices into the millions, especially when experts authenticate it and verify its uniqueness. And stories of coins found in old jars, estate sales, or pocket change that turn out to be worth life-changing amounts always capture public imagination, and this is why people search their loose change, check their piggy banks, and even buy rolls of coins from banks hoping to uncover hidden treasures. And while the 1997 P dime valued at $23 million is one of a kind, it inspires countless enthusiasts to search for their own lucky discovery, reminding us that treasures may be hiding in plain sight. But beyond the staggering price tag, we must also appreciate the factors that influence such valuations, because numismatic value is not arbitrary. It comes from scarcity, demand, historical importance, and condition, with the presence of unique mint errors being the ultimate catalyst for skyrocketing worth. And experts have always emphasized the importance of examining details such as mint marks, die cracks, doubling, planchet quality, strike clarity, and alignment, all of which can make the difference between an ordinary dime and one that is considered priceless. And in the case of the 1997 P dime with its mint mark error, the combination of rarity, intrigue, and historical significance created the perfect storm that led to a multi-million-dollar valuation, shocking not only the coin-collecting world but also casual observers who never imagined that a 10-cent coin could rival the price of luxury mansions, exotic cars, or rare art. And yet this is the magic of numismatics, a field where size and face value are meaningless compared to rarity and story. And when collectors bid for such coins, they are not just purchasing metal but securing a piece of history that connects them to the intricate world of minting, errors, and human oversight, a world that proves perfection is not always the most valuable. Sometimes it is the flaws that carry the highest price, and this leads us to consider the broader lesson of why collectors and historians are drawn to error coins, because they symbolize the unpredictable nature of history, the moments when machines falter or humans overlook details, resulting in artifacts that carry the fingerprints of chance. And when such a mistake is preserved and discovered decades later, it becomes a tangible reminder that rarity can emerge from imperfection, and that the tiniest details can hold the greatest value. And so the 1997 P Liberty dime valued at $23 million is not just a coin, it is a testament to the allure of mystery, the economics of rarity, and the enduring fascination humanity has with collecting. And as we reflect on this story, it becomes clear that the next time you hold a dime in your hand, you should not dismiss it as a mere 10 cents but look closer, because you never know if your coin holds an error, a rare marking, or an anomaly that could change your life. And while the chances are slim, History has shown that lucky discoveries happen, and this is what keeps the passion for coin collecting alive, driving millions of enthusiasts to examine every date, mint mark, and detail, because the dream of finding a fortune in pocket change is one that excites the imagination, and even if you never come across a multi-million-dollar dime, the journey of learning, discovering, and appreciating the history of coins is rewarding in itself, offering a deeper understanding of the past and a new perspective on the everyday objects we often take for granted. And with that, we conclude this incredible story of the 1997 Liberty dime, a coin that proves even the smallest treasures can hold the greatest value, and reminds us that history, chance, and human curiosity can transform an ordinary object into a priceless artifact worth $23 million. Another fascinating and eye-opening journey where we dive deep into the incredible story of a small piece of metal that has turned into a legendary treasure, the 1999 Liberty USA dime, a coin that to most people looks like nothing more than ordinary pocket change worth just 10 cents, yet because of astonishing errors, minting mistakes, and the mystery surrounding its production, has reached a mind-blowing estimated market value of $29 million, a figure so vast and so extraordinary that it immediately makes collectors, historians, investors, and ordinary curious people wonder how a coin that is supposed to be so common, so everyday, could transform into a numismatic marvel commanding such a staggering price in auctions, private collections, and expert circles. And to begin with, we must understand that coins in the United States have always carried more than monetary value. They carry history, artistry, symbolism, and even the fingerprints of the era they were struck in. And the dime especially holds a prominent place as part of American commerce, introduced long ago and designed with the intention to be practical, durable, and representative of liberty itself. Yet the 1999 dime stands apart because it is said to contain one of the most significant mint errors of the late 20th century, and this error is not just a small flaw, but a combination of dime mistakes, misplaced mint marks, and striking anomalies that make it radically different from ordinary dimes. And when collectors speak of error coins, they are not simply talking about scratches or wear from circulation, but rather actual mistakes made in the official minting process, mistakes that slip through quality control and enter circulation, making them incredibly rare because the mint works with strict precision where flaws are usually caught before release, but once in a while one gets past the system. And this is exactly what makes coins like the 1999 Liberty dime so incredibly valuable, for the D mint mark normally indicates it was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the busiest coin production facilities in the United States, and under normal conditions that mint mark appears in its usual correct location, uniform in appearance. But with the 1999 Liberty dime, collectors notice something unusual. The mint mark was misplaced, doubled, or otherwise struck in a way that did not align with standard specifications, creating an anomaly that instantly signaled rarity. Because mint mark errors are among the most desirable mistakes in the world of coin collecting, and when we add the possibility of a double die, an off-center strike, or a planchette error where the blank piece of metal itself was not correct, we start to see how such a coin could climb in value, and when scarcity meets demand, the price skyrockets, for only a handful of such dimes are known to exist. And while millions of 1999 dimes were produced and used in everyday commerce, the specific error bearing examples with the Denver mint mark anomaly are so limited in number that they are practically impossible to find in circulation today, and this rarity is the very fuel that drives the price to astronomical heights. And imagine the thrill of holding a coin in your hand that others would dismiss as spare change but is in reality worth more than luxury cars, more than mansions, more than entire fortunes. It is the kind of story that captivates the imagination of everyone who hears it, and the history of Liberty coins plays into this as well, because from the very beginning American coinage has celebrated liberty as an ideal, placing her image on coins from the earliest days of the Republic, and the dime itself famously featured the Mercury design, which was actually the winged Liberty head, later replaced by Roosevelt. But in collector language the association with liberty continues, and each of these designs represents freedom, resilience, and national pride, and the errors that sneak into production become like hidden secrets of history, testaments to the human and mechanical flaws that occasionally pierce the veil of perfection the mint strives for. And what separates a valuable error coin from an ordinary coin is often the combination of rarity, visibility of the mistake, historical context, and collector demand, all of which converge in the 1999 Liberty dime, making it legendary. And in the broader market we see how such coins behave, for while the face value of this dime is 10 cents, its collectible value has nothing to do with its purchasing power, and everything to do with its story, scarcity, and demand, and so experts have evaluated and confirmed its unique attributes, with some auctions and private sales placing its value around $29 million, an amount that shocks the uninitiated but makes perfect sense to seasoned numismatists who understand that rarity in coins is like rarity in diamonds, art, or rare cars, and that when only a handful exist in pristine condition, wealthy collectors will compete fiercely to own one, driving the price higher and higher, and identifying rare and error coins like this requires careful observation, magnification, and comparison with standard issues, because the differences can sometimes be subtle, and for the 1999 D Liberty dime the placement of the D mint mark, the clarity of doubling if present, and the characteristics of the strike are critical in separating an ordinary coin from the multi-million-dollar treasure, and countless collectors spend their lives searching through rolls of coins, hoping to spot that one anomaly, that one mistake that transforms pocket change into a fortune, and history shows us examples of other error coins that fetched astonishing prices, like the 1913 Liberty nickel or the 1943 copper penny, and each time the story is the same, rarity plus demand equals extraordinary value, and the 1999 D Liberty dime belongs to that elite category, a modern marvel that proves even late 20th century coins can ascend to legendary status, and so when we think about it, the story of this dime is more than just about money, it is about the human fascination with rarity, with mistakes that turn into miracles, and with the thrill of discovery, because anyone anywhere who stumbles upon such a coin could suddenly find themselves holding a life-changing fortune. And that possibility keeps the hunt alive, inspiring new generations of collectors to study, to search, and to treasure the history hidden in the smallest details of coins, and as the world of collecting grows, values can rise even further, meaning that what is today valued at $29 million could tomorrow reach even greater heights if demand increases and supply remains limited, and this is the nature of collectibles markets, unpredictable yet always fueled by the passions of those who love history and rarity. So the 1999 D Liberty dime stands today as a shining example, a reminder that sometimes the tiniest object can carry the largest value, that even a 10-cent piece can be transformed into a priceless artifact of error and history, and it teaches us to look closely, to appreciate details, and to never underestimate the value of what might appear ordinary at first glance, for within the ordinary can sometimes lie the extraordinary. And this story of a small dime worth $29 million because of its minting error is proof that history, chance, and human fascination can combine to elevate a simple coin into a legend that will be remembered and treasured for generations to come, inspiring collectors, historians, and ordinary people alike to continue searching their change, their collections, and their pockets, because who knows, the next life-changing coin could be waiting in the most unexpected place, carrying with it not just financial worth but also a piece of American history, artistry, and the eternal symbol of liberty itself.